Focus. Ideate. Innovate. Enable.
IvyCamp Ventures presents IvyCamp Innovation and Entrepreneurship Conclave, a summit showcasing the potential of the global alumni network to take India to the top in innovation and entrepreneurship.
IvyCamp is the first of its kind platform that really leverages the potential that sits across the campuses of our engineering and management institutions in the country. We have really gained momentum from participation from across the IITs, IIMs, ISB, and BITS. But this is merely the beginning. We are working to bring more and more management and engineering campuses on board. And we aim to build IvyCamp into the world's best platform for entrepreneurship and innovation. And by best, I mean in entrepreneurship quality, in the number of patents each year, and the value we can add to the economy.
For us at IvyCaps, which is a venture capital fund started in 2011, the last few years have been very exciting, challenging, and in one sense, I'm very happy to report that we've closed our first fund at about 239 crores. We've more or less made almost all the commitments to about 11 startups. We are also looking now at a second fund, which we hope to begin raising funds around June this year and hope to complete it, the first phase, by the end of the year. It's been challenging because the number of ideas that have come, or the entrepreneurs who have come forward, and to try and sift from within the total number of applications with a small amount of what I would call as a technical team, because all of you know that venture capital funds get just 2.5% of the entire overall raising of funds for your management fees. And therefore, it is extremely important for us to get not only talented, shall I say, people on our board, but also need to be very quick and responsive to the entrepreneurs who come and want their funding to be completed. I know in the beginning there have been problems. We've been a little bit slow, but I think we've now managed to catch up and be as nimble as the entrepreneur himself. But the challenges before the entrepreneurs is immense. It's for me, as a former Secretary of Commerce who's dealt with exporters, industrialists, and also when we were setting up the special economic zones, I've seen how in one sense, the ease of doing business was so critical. It is something that can be done in India if one really has the will and the, shall I say, the determination to do so.
Having seen the venture capital industry now almost for a decade, there are quite a few lessons learned. First, I think venture capital is not just about writing a check and just hoping after that, we invested in 30 companies, 40 companies, and just hope and pray that something might come out and maybe one of the deals will give you the value. That works, though. I mean, in many cases, it works, and it has been working. But I think that's one of the lessons that I have learned, that if you're really involved in these companies, it's a very different ball game. Second, the best way to provide support to your portfolio companies is to bring trusted, experienced, and knowledgeable people who would genuinely want to contribute to these companies. And third, I think one of the most important part when you make investments is exits. And exits are not just, it's not just an event, it's a process. You have to work very closely with your portfolio companies to really take them to a level where you make them very attractive for somebody else to partner with the company. Now, it's quite amazing how, all these learnings, I realized quite early on, because prior to setting up this fund, I was with a large group where I had set up India's first healthcare fund. And I realized that it made a lot of sense to really leverage the value of the alumni networks. And we believe that, in fact, my team came on board very early on, and we went across the IIT alumni network and the system. And very soon we were able to bring on board the IITs, and now the IIMs, BITS and ISB have joined. And we believe that this journey will continue with lots of other institutions participating, not just in India, but abroad.